In Tower Tassadar, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kylaris, and today I'm going to bring you a game between two Root clan members, one of them being SC2GGY, who is a lesser known member in comparison to ROOTdrewbie. I'm pretty sure this was probably a practice match, no doubt, but ROOTSUGGY is not to be shunned in essence, as he is a very, very good Protoss player. In fact, I have been in contact with his YouTube channel at one point, to the point where we may be doing some collaborative work, so hopefully something will come of that, as he has replied and expressed interest. So that should be very entertaining if we do get to that state. So this replay came highly recommended by SC2rep.net, and I personally think that SC2rep.net is way better than SC2 Replayed, because SC2 Replayed has that like limit on how many matches you can see. So I mean, screw that, man. SC2rep.net has some awesome replays from awesome players, and it doesn't have a limit. So check out SC2rep.net. It is fantastic. But as I said, that this game was like the one of the most popular games as of recent, and Drewbie here being a very, very well-known Terran player. He was very well known during the early stages, I believe, of not only the beta, but the early stages of just the SC2 in general, as a very, very strong player, and gained notoriety from beating several very high players as well. I'm trying to think of some names, but I can't because I'm really flustered. I've been so busy with work as of late, and this is a really interesting placement of a gateway for SCUGGY here, kind of placing it in front of his own Vespene Geyser, a mana gateway on his own Vespene Geyser. I'm curious as to what's going on there. Maybe, I believe, I must admit that I haven't watched this, and without seeing it, I imagine he's going to be going for some kind of 1 gas, 3 gate expand maybe, or a 1 gate expand, so we'll have to see what comes of that indeed. I'm going to open the production tab because I have completely forgetting what I'm doing. And Orbital Command is on the way for Drewbie, as well as a second barracks. We're going to be seeing a few Marines coming out initially, and then I'm probably going to imagine that he's going to be throwing a tech lab down on there in order to be able to deal with it. Ooh, a sneaky little probe here by SCUGGY. I'm quite surprised that that is still alive right now, considering there is one Marine, although that Marine is doing a bit of scouting, so he will find that probe in just a little bit. This SCV here is just doing a little bit of spotting, does see this cybernetic scar going down, and as you can see, this Marine has now found this probe. Very nicely scouted there of Drewbie, making sure nothing is going on. No foul play in his base, and an interesting placement of a pylon from SCUGGY once again. And ooh, actually going for this gas geyser. I wonder. I'm pretty sure that that will cut down on the amount of gas actually coming in. But each to their own. It's an interesting choice. So indeed, we do see a tech lab going down on there, quickly getting that concussive shell, as well as a reactor going down on that second barracks. So 2 barracks into maybe an expansion. I'm not 100% fluent on Terran tactics, but I can imagine that is something that's going to be happening. Maybe some kind of 2 barracks pressure into an expansion would pay dividends later on in this game. So we do see now warp gates being researched, as well as a stalker coming out. We do have that zealot out, and as you can see, he is going to be going for that expansion pretty damn soon. Up to 400 minerals here, and he's going to be throwing that down. So good eye there by me, although I didn't foretell that he was actually going to be getting this gas. I'm interested as to this building placement. It's really, really strange. So we do see this 1 gate expand here going off for Drewbie, and this game is about 20 minutes long. So considering. Why have I just given that away? I'm such a dumbass. Oh, nice pick off there by that those units on that stock. They wouldn't have been able to pick that off as fluently if he didn't get concussive shells first. Big tip. Oh, but Psylocked here. But that supply depot has just gone up there. But that's a good kind of rule of thumb in general for Terrans against Protoss, even though I don't cater to Terran that much, is the fact that getting that concussive shell early on can really deal a great deal of damage to any kind of scouting stalkers that do actually come along. So now grabbing a few more. Whoa, what is with this frame rate? Seriously, 1 second. I figured out what was up with this frame rate. Oh, I need to press play. Press play. Press play! There we go. And just warping in a few more units here, but as you can see, ROOTdrewbie is going to be piling on a lot of pressure on this Nexus, but he's pulling back. Oh no, Drewbie, go back! You could take that Nexus, what are you doing? But yeah, I mean, there was nothing here to stop that at all. There's nothing. So Suggy there getting really lucky on that. As Drewbie is more than content just defending his own base and going to be pulling back, as I said before. But now reinforcing with quite a few units here. And this could be the killing blow, ultimately. He really needs good force field placement. I mean, the best force field placement ever with this. Otherwise, he is going to die. I think that the force fields will end off fending off ROOTdrewbie though, as force fields are very strong. Bringing now the probes off in order to be able to fend this off, and taking one probe down with him, even though he's not dying, so it doesn't really make any sense. But now really nice force fields there, cutting off half of those units, and the probes now doing quite a lot of damage, as well as these zealots, to these front units. And now ROOTdrewbie is going to be forced to retreat, as those did a lot of damage, although sacrificing so many probes to that initial attack. So it really did a lot of damage to Suggy, and I believe that Drewbie really came off well in that assault. So this third barracks now going down for Drewbie, and it seems like he's almost got that command centre up and running, throwing down a bunker now just to prevent any kind of counter-attacks that do come along. And Suggy here in a bit of a bad spot, I would say, considering the fact that he killed so many probes during that assault, because losing probes is actually quite a big difference. It's a big difference losing probes to just like a zealot, say, cost for cost, because you have to factor in how much that probe would have made you over the course of an entire game. So now he's going to be really good force field, lovely force fields there, trapping in a lot of units. He could have trapped even more units had the force field been there, but it doesn't really matter too much as the assault has been averted, and he's really going to be... Suggy is actually pulling himself back into this game, especially considering that he has Chrono Boost in order to be able to power out the probes, and it really seems like he's in a nice position right now, just kind of waiting for Drewbie to make the next move, and now throwing down this factory for Drewbie, and Suggy really not getting anything else at this point in time. I imagine he's going to be going into a more gateways, but also he will have more than an opportunity in order to throw down a robotics facility, and we do see that robotics facility going down. Nice timing, serious. Suggy, you compliment me very nicely. And grabbing another assimilator, as well as throwing this pylon down in order to make sure no shenanigans do go down in the back of his base. I would like to see that completely blocked off, maybe by just placing it there as opposed to there, but it doesn't matter too much. It will prevent quite a bit of movement going around that area. Now throwing down that starport in order to be able to grab those medivacs, no doubt. I'm going to be probably going for an MM build, considering how infantry heavy he already is. And I need to move my microphone a little bit away from my face. I'm so sorry if that did create any crackling noise. And a missile turret now going down for Drewbie as well, in order to be able to make sure he can see any kind of DT play coming along here, as well as an observer. If that comes along, he'll be easily able to snipe that off, as the observer's range isn't exactly... it's pretty much exactly the same as a missile turret's detection range, so it's really good to note that an observer is coming out here. And where is that going? It's going straight here right now, and also robotics bay going down, so he's going to be grabbing some Colossus anytime.